Well, that was fun. Martin Maldonado hit a home run. The Astros scored 2 runs early, and it looked like they might have their way with the Cardinals. Jordan Montgomery had other ideas, and Framber Valdez probably put together his worst performance he has with 3 wild pitches, and the bats were silent. We're going to talk about this, and they're 3-8 in the last 11 games and what they need to do to fix it on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you joins for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. They can always find me in my psychologist office after games like this because I feel like I'm going insane right now. This was ridiculous. This game, wow, just make the Cardinals look like they're World Series champions. Pretty bad game, Eric.
Well, I know the Astros are 1-3 on this road trip, and if they're coming home soon, and when they do come home and you need tickets to the game, go ahead and download the GameTime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Even if it's after a brutal game like this, we appreciate that you tune in and listen to us, become an everydayer. We enjoy talking about the Astros even after games like this. And so become an everydayer. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. We really do appreciate it. And we're glad that you're here for the ride. It shows that you're a true fan, that you are here, rain or shine, you're here for the Locked On Astros podcast. So keep on doing it. So we're going to definitely talk about today's game. Framber Valdez didn't have his best stuff today. He gave it 4 runs. Definitely something we're going to discuss. Jose Altuve, he's feeling fine. He's supposed to be back tomorrow. Why couldn't he have maybe pinch hit today? We'll talk about that. Was that the right move to pinch hit for Maldonado in that situation with Bly Madris? We'll definitely talk about that. And we'll just discuss some other stuff that have been going around through our heads because it's really tough right now. And the Astros have put themselves in a situation, not necessarily, I guess, by not adding depth this offseason, by adding maybe another quality bat where you have to rely on the players you're relying on, but you can't predict all the injuries that the Astros have been dealing with. And Altuve has been hurt more often than not this year, and it's frustrating. And then you have people like Kyle Tucker. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing Kyle Tucker at all, but he just has not been the guy that I think the Astros have needed him to be this year.
Kyle Tucker has not been the bat we need. He at times has hit his home runs and he's done his thing. His glove is phenomenal. I mean, his play in the field, you can't argue with that. I mean, his glove, and he's robbed home runs. Look, Kyle Tucker's a better player than what he is right now. But this offense is absolutely lifeless right now. Martin Maldonado puts 2 good swings on the ball. His first ball is a home run beyond the bullpen. The next one's a line out, 97.7 miles an hour off the bat, and he's having a solid game. But nobody got more than 1 hit in this game. Pena and McCormick both struck out twice. And, I mean, just the story of the game. Look, Framber Valdez started out really well. First 2 innings, nails. I mean, I think he delivered like 17 pitches in the first 2 innings. Mm-hmm. And phenomenal, okay? And then the wheels came off, and he was spiking his fastball that was like 92 miles an hour. He had 3 wild pitches. He only had 2 wild pitches up until this point in the season all year. You're going to have games like this if you're Framber Valdez. It was definitely his worst road start. But look, I think the tale of the tape is 2 extra base hits, the double, and the home run that they had, 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. There was only 3 times where runners in scoring position, and they had 0 2-out RBI. And a lot of their RBI recently have been with 2 outs. Now, their hits came with 2 outs, but they couldn't complete the task. And depth is an issue with this team. But in the situation, Eric, and we need to talk about it right now, the situation, Maldonado swinging a hot bat in this game. They do bring in a new pitcher. I get that. Why in the hell are we putting Bly Madris, a career 172 hitter, in this game? Now, to his credit, he worked the count. He didn't swing at stuff. He only swung at pitches in the strike zone. So it wasn't a terrible at bat to give him credit, right? He just got under the ball a little bit. That's fine. But when Martin Maldonado, his first 2 at bats, hits 2 solid baseballs to the outfield, 1 goes out of the park. Why not put your confidence in the guy who gets crapped on daily about being in the lineup because his bat is so bad? Or Jake Myers, who's your other guy on the bench, who I would have wanted to put on. And I know Jake has been slumping lately. I know he's got what his OPS is like 506 or something right now. Like, he's not hitting well. But Bly is the last person that I put in that situation. It reminded me last year of putting JJ Metajevic, one of his first few games in the major leagues, in a bases loaded pinch hit situation in Anaheim. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I know the answer. Old school thinking, before analytics, before all that came around, is in a bases loaded situation, if you're going to bring in if they bring in a righty pitcher, you want to bring in a lefty pitch hitter off the bench. And so that's probably why JJ Metajevic came in that situation. And that's probably why they brought in Bly Madris in the situation. And that's typically what an old school manager would probably do. Just go with the righty lefty situation because of that's just what they will do in the past. And I know the analytics would probably say that's not what you do in this situation, but that's what Dusty Baker did. And to Bly's credit, he did make contact at the 92 miles per hour off the exit velocity and 0 expected batting average. So that wasn't going to do anything, but
hold on. Bly is a right-handed hitter, right?
Left.
Oh, he's a lefty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe I was looking in the mirror when I was watching him hit. I was just like, it still just doesn't make sense. This guy, bats. Okay, he throws right. That's what throws me off because he's a righty with the glove, but he bats left. I guess, okay, I guess I can go with that. But again, had Martin Maldonado not gotten any hits, had he struck out twice, I don't think anybody questions it. The fact that Martin was hitting the ball the way he hit the ball today is why. And then you've got to take him out. You got to put Bly in that spot. So he's now DH, and you move Diaz to the catcher spot, kind of a double switch. Okay.
No, you lose the DH in that spot. So then you have to.
You do lose it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then they, okay. Yeah, you're right. So it begins and ends not with that decision at the end. It begins and ends with this offense being absolutely abysmal and making pitchers look like they're Cy Young winners right now. Jordan Montgomery, to his credit, has been decent his last 3 outings. He's gone 7 innings. He's gotten several strikeouts. He is. But this is the Cardinals, and they are definitely down. Although they score a lot of runs, they usually give up a lot of runs. So I don't know. It's just a frustrating loss. Like I said, they're 8. What they've lost 8 of their last 11 games are 3-8. They put themselves squarely in 3rd place now. We're jockeying between 2nd and 3rd. Now we're, I think, a full game or a game and a half out of the wild card. I still think there's time for this team to get back up top. I still think the Astros can win this division. I really do. The Rangers have kind of come down to earth a little bit, and they're not playing. I mean, the Rangers are 7-10 in their last 17 games. So they're not playing over 500 ball right now either. Or I guess they'd be 8-10 now in their last 18. So they've kind of leveled off. You get Jordan back. You find a way to spark the bats. I'm serious. I still think Dusty needs to break some stuff in the locker room. I think he needs to blow up an igloo cooler with the bat or do something. Like somebody needs to get emotional. They need another game where they get emotionally charged, get thrown out. They need something to light a fire under their proverbial AWS right now. That's what they need.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something we can discuss. Like, I still want to address this conversation a little more about Maldonado in that situation. And Altuve, we do have an update about Jose Altuve, and we do have some updates a little bit about some of the other injured players. And I do want to go back and talk about Valdez, some stuff that you might have missed. But this episode is brought to you by GameTime.
That's right. GameTime is this amazing app if you want tickets at a low price, and if you don't want to have to plan in advance. Look, you can wait till the day of the game, the day of the event, whether it's a play, whether it's a comedy show, no matter what it is, GameTime is there to give you the satisfaction and the assurance that you'll be taken care of. If you buy a ticket to the game, to the Astros game, and let's say you go to another ticket website and you go, I wonder what they're charging, and you find a seat in the same row in the same section for a cheaper price, they'll credit you 110% the difference in your account. That way you can use it for another purchase. The game time guarantee means you'll always have the best price if you find those tickets. Like I said, you get images of your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what the experience is when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps and you're set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. It's very simple. Download the GameTime app today, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. And you can catch tomorrow night's Cardinals versus Astros game, game 2 of a 3-game set. 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with Sparky and Ford with Sirius XM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
So what I think happened in today's game, you had walks. Walks was a big thing that kind of got to Framber Valdez, especially they led to runs in most situations, whether it was setting up a Paul DeYoung's sacrifice fly, or it led to Goldsmith kind of scoring a run. It just the walks always seem to kind of lead to something with Valdez because he doesn't allow a lot of walks. And I think in this game, it was something that really kind of led to the issues. He was upset after the home run earlier in the game. And it just felt like, I mean, that was a curveball, his first curveball that he's allowed a home run to all season. So this was just a game where he just was not pinpoint control. And it just was a game where he looked, like you said, he looked like he was dealing, but the control was not overall there. So, but the offense just didn't do much for him. You had that the Astros scored 1 run in the first inning, and then you had the Maldonado home run, 438 feet. That was a blast, and it's amazing how when he hits the ball goes. But going back to the pinch hit situation, we've been fans, maybe us, probably us, all year have been saying, why don't you pinch hit for Martin Maldonado in this situation? And the problem is the Astros just don't have anybody on the bench right now, except for Jose Altuve. We'll talk about him in a second. But I think, Jake Myers would probably have been the most logical choice in that situation. Believe it or not, he's had no more success this year. But I think Dusty Baker just went with his gut and what he's comfortable with, because maybe he's just not that comfortable anymore at this moment with Jake Myers, because Jake Myers been in a little bit of a slump himself. And Greg Kessinger, what has Greg Kessinger done recently? Nothing.
Well, he's basically warming the bench. That's all he's doing. Yeah. They're not giving him opportunities. But look, when I call for Martin Maldonado to be pinch hit for late in games, that's when Diaz wasn't playing. And I wanted Diaz to come in late. I wanted a competent bat to take his place. He was a competent bat at that time, and you put in a guy that's unproven and, no offense, not a competent bat compared to what Martin's doing in this game. It still makes no sense to pinch hit Martin Maldonado late in the game when he's hitting. That would be like a guy going 4 for 4 with 3 home runs and saying, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and give you a breather because we're in a tough situation. It doesn't. Yes, I've called for Martin to be pinch hit for when there was a better option on the bench, and clearly the better option was not used. Jake Myers is the better option. He's not a great option right now because he's kind of in a slump. But if he played Bly Madris more, if Bly Madris was more of like a pinch hitter that you saw every 3 games, it makes sense. But this dude doesn't even play.
He was the DH on Saturday, Brett.
Well, okay, he plays 1 game out of what, 12?
I'm kidding.
I know,
he hasn't been up here that long. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, that's my point. I look frustrated because I hate to see Framber start the game the way he did.
Yeah,
lose it, and then the offense could have at least the Cardinals only scored 4 runs. Now, I guess if there's a silver lining, they didn't give up a ton of runs, but they're also not scoring for crap right now. And it's just, God bless. We need something. Like, I'm serious. Yeah. Like, we need some shattered igloo coolers in that locker room.
I think we're going to get some help back tomorrow. We'll talk about Jose Altuve in a second, but I want to correct some people in the chat today. Jose Abreu is almost there. Did y'all see some of the bats he took today? They were great at bats. And even that line out in the 8th inning, that was 109.2 miles per hour off the bat. And that had an expected batting average of 910. It was just to the wrong place. I was trying to set up for the show and I saw that and I was still doing a relevant app. I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be a line drive. And it could have been a double, but it just went to the wrong spot. He is getting some good swings at the bat. He had 109.2, 106.5, 98.8, and then he had that ground into double play ball. He's not perfect, but he's making some strides. We saw him have the hardest hit ball the other day for a home run, 110.2 miles per hour off the bat. So he's making some strides. So I know he's not the Jose Abreu from the White Sox days, but he is making some strides. So let's not jump. I know he shouldn't be probably batting cleanup right now, but the Astros are where the Astros are because they have a weakened roster, because you have Alvarez out, you have Brantley, who hasn't played a single game this season, and Altuve, who can't seem to stay healthy for a stretch of time this year. And Pena is just not contributing like you expected him to. And Bregman is like this. And then Tucker.
Well, Bregman got a solid hit, he got, they put the bat on the ball a few times. Right. I mean, even Corey Julks got involved, right. Had the ball after he gets on base, had the ball not been hit so hard to the right field, then Corey Julks would have scored. It would have been 4-3. They still wouldn't have won. But if you score in that situation, then that changes everything. That changes the pitcher's attack. A lot of other things could have happened as a result.
Well, yeah. So I just want to know, who else are you going to bat ahead of Jose Abreu right now? There's not that many more people I would bat ahead of Jose Abreu right now in this current lineup.
So what are we saying? Like are we saying don't wait? What are you responding to?
Like Joe Blue is like, I just don't understand why he can't try 7th or 8th, batting 7th or 8th.
Okay.
Like Abreu. Like there's,
we
just don't have that. We don't have anybody in the lineup to hit.
Nobody's hitting. Nobody's hitting right now. Martin Maldonado is the 9th place hitter, and he's the only guy that hit a home run. What are you going to lead him off the next game? So he hit a leadoff homer because he hit a home run. Look, lineup construction, where players are in the order aren't as important as who's on the field in the order. Does that make sense? So now you can go to statistics and you can see that Jeremy Pena, I think, typically hits better, I think, in the 2-hole than he does in the 7-hole overall. So maybe players feel more comfortable, or maybe it's because the players that are around them. But when we start, hitting is contagious, and so is slumping, and so is getting outs. It's just systemic in and of itself. And so the Astros are just going to have to figure out what it is they need to do. Some of the at-bats today, when they got out, when they lined out, they weren't chasing a lot of baseballs out of the zone. So that is a good thing, and hopefully that trends the right way. Look, if you get stressed out and you want to go hang out with your buddies, you need to go to Hooters because Hooters makes you happy. Bring your buddies to the place to watch the Astros. You can go anywhere from Baytown to Galveston, from Stafford to Katy, from Seabrook to Webster, Sugarland, Pearland, Pasadena, anywhere in between. At Houston, on a weekly basis, Monday through Friday, they have deals. Monday, buy one, get one wings. Tuesdays, they have $9.99 burger and fries. Wednesdays, buy one, get one boneless wings. Thursday, $19.99 wings, Big Daddy bundle. And Friday, they have $19.83 crab legs. Also, they have kids eat free on Saturday and Sunday. Now, on August 24th, Thursday, if you want to ditch work, grab a bus ticket and go with the Hooters girls and the Webster NASA area Hooters. They will take a bus trip out to the Astros game. Go in and ask Rosie for a ticket, get the spot on the bus, and check that out. They are also going on a trip from Pearland Hooters as well in July. So go ask their manager when you can get that and get those tickets, and then join Pearland Hooters for a 3-on-3 basketball tournament June 24th. Join your buddies and head to Hooters Pearland. Listen, if you want $3 Blue Moon drafts anytime or $9.99 Michelob Ultra pitchers, go check out Hooters. Hooters is there to make you happy. Tell them the guys from Locked On Astros sent you. I don't know if they have a veggie burger. I guess you would have to ask them that. The Astros play the Cardinals Wednesday night at 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
I've never actually looked. I'm sure they probably do, but
yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to go to the NASA Hooters tomorrow before I head out to Constellation Field. I actually going to go watch Spencer Arrighetti in his AAA debut. Gonna kind of and then I'll have a report on his game tomorrow night, how he looks out there. Maybe get some footage we can share with the people on the show, but that'll be fun.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some positive, good news, because we need something. Astros need some offense. They need a kick in the butt or something to happen. So Jose Altuve says he feels good, and he feels like he should be back in the lineup tomorrow. And so he had the soreness in the right heel. So after hitting the first base, I think it was on Sunday, a little bit rough, or maybe Saturday was. So he should be back in the lineup tomorrow. And my thought is, if he feels good and he should be back in the lineup tomorrow, why can't you just go ahead and pinch hit for him in that situation instead of Bly Madris? And just what's the worst going to happen if he? I just, with bases loaded, game on the line.
Everybody's saying that, but a sore heel, if he's not playing, then he's not playing. They're not going to pinch hit a guy that's got a bruised heel early. And there's nothing going on right there. I just don't think he was available at all. Now, I don't know if you heard Dusty's words on the Matt Thomas show, but they asked him how Jose was, and he said, he's walking through the dugout and he's no longer, he goes, he's pimping. He's no longer limping. And they were like, what? He goes, well, Jose's got that swagger. He's kind of got that strut when he's feeling good. And he was feeling good, and he was walking around the clubhouse, and he looked good. And I was like, why isn't he playing? But Dusty said he was a lot better today. And Dusty said some interesting things. I don't know if you caught the Rafael Montero quotes.
Yes.
But
we'll get to
we
that
definitely need to talk about those.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jose Urquidy threw 25 pitches in bullpen today. He was hitting 92 to 93 miles per hour, in which was labeled a big step. And he is usually at 87 to 88 while throwing in the bullpen. So that is probably the big step that they were looking for him to go ahead and take next step, maybe go to the make a minor league rehab appearance and start building up some innings to all that. That's not what they said, but he's probably going to throw one more bullpen before starting to face hitters. So that's probably we'll see what happens down the road. But also Michael Brantley, I think Julian Morales was talking about him, and they said that he's feeling good at facing hitters. And so they're just looking at checking off a few more check boxes before he's ready to start making the return back to the Astros lineup. And his bat will be sorely welcomed. But with the way they've kind of
they're going to say sorely missed.
Pampered Altuve, you have to wonder how often he'll actually play once he comes back to the lineup. And
Jose Altuve?
No, Brantley. No, I was saying with how they've treated.
Oh, Brantley.
Altuve.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, look. Right. Yeah, well, I mean, I think just how Brantley started to come back and then he went back. He is not going to touch Minute Maid Park until he's ready to be in there almost every game. I just don't see that happening because they've already had to restart his restart. So just know that they will definitely be paying attention to that.
Yeah. So Montero, I don't have the quote in front of me, but it seems like Dusty Baker thinks there's nothing wrong with Rafael Montero. He's just bad luck. Is that basically what the quote said?
I have it. Basically, he said today, he said Rafael Montero is dealing. He's pitching well right now. He just keeps getting hit. And I'm like, he basically was complimenting Montero's. This is what it is. He says, I'm trying to stick with Montero. He's throwing lights out, but he just keeps getting hit. He's throwing the ball too good to keep getting hit like this. Like, I don't know. Now, I know there's some analytical people. There's this kid goes by the name of Aiden, threw out some Fangraph stuff, plus stuff that I don't even understand how to read it. He's like, oh, but look, he's actually pitching better. He's just getting hit. And I'm like, I don't know how Dusty, like, I don't know if he's being serious. I don't know. He's like trying to be a comedian, but no, he's not lights out. He's got the worst ERA in all of baseball for relief pitchers. He's the 5th highest relief pitcher. Look, I don't want him to be done because I don't want to waste all that money. But y'all better freaking figure it out because he is terrible right now. I wouldn't even let him throw for my Little League team. He's that bad. I mean, he is that bad. So anyways, Montero's just got to figure it out. Apparently, Dusty was going to watch video today of him and see if they could figure out. I think he may be tipping pitches. Someone says they think he's hurt. I think it's a mental thing with him. But is this more the real Montero, what we're seeing this year, than what we saw last year?
Well, last year could have been the outlier where he dominated and had total control of the stuff. And so we won't really know this. I mean, there's still a whole half of a season that he could right the ship, so to speak. But I think that there will have to be – I don't typically like the whole – phantom injury thing, but maybe he will have to stub his toe or ingrown toenail or something that you can't really see, and just like, oh, he has to go on IL to work on something. But you can't really keep on running him out there, and the Astros offense is not giving them the ability to have a safe enough lead. And like, typically last year, I think we had this discussion on Relevant when you joined afterwards, but last year, I think we had more like bigger leads. So we didn't have to keep on relying on our main relievers so much. And we outscored the other team so much. I forgot what the run differential was last year, but it just feels like
we're averaging two full runs more per game. Like 6.5 runs per game. We're only averaging 4.5 this year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
right.
Two runs is a massive, even a half run difference is really big in the grand scheme of things. And this year we have had a very inconsistent offense.
Right.
Look, Stanek has not been himself this year. He's not been great. And you just have guys that just aren't delivering. You got Hector Neris. Got Abreu for the most part, except recently. And then you have Presley. Those three are the only ones. And then Dusty said something about, I thought about putting Sean Dubin in the other day when he put Montero in, but he thought he needed more time to warm up. And he said, I sat him down and asked him yesterday, how long does it take you to warm up? And Sean Dubin said 4 or 5 pitches. He goes, oh, wow. I wish I would have known that. And I'm like, To me, sometimes Dusty says things that don't really help his case. I still respect the man. Look, I don't have any hate for Dusty, okay? Respect the hell out of the guy. He's got a ton of skin in the game. But when he says stuff like that, I don't know. Just some of the I don't think he thinks before he says stuff, because it sounded like, wait, you don't know your pitcher only takes 4 or 5 pitches to warm up? Like, that is something you should know, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll take him a little bit more, but I think that he just said, if you need me in a pinch, I can be ready at this.
Right, but I'm just saying, but isn't that something like a discussion? Maybe I don't know. It's just little things like that, and that's what people will do. The people that want to just drive on the negative stuff, they will pull that stuff and they will highlight it. See, I told you,
Right.
But hey, we still got 2 games against a Cardinals team that's not as good as this team, so hopefully we can turn things around tomorrow.
Yes. So tomorrow we're going to have Christian Javier, who's 7-1 with 3.25 ERA, versus Miles Mikolas, who is 4-5 with a 4.23 ERA. So he is a guy that may not be the best pitcher, but he knows how to pitch. So he's not going to be the same type of pitcher that we faced today, but it's definitely going to be somebody that the Astros, I think, can handle. But Nolan Arenado does have a home run against Christian Javier in his career. So that is something to consider as well. So, but I think that the Astros need to rebound. They've normally offered some run support for Christian Javier, and Christian Javier typically does pretty well. He's only had like maybe 1 or 2 bad games. So I think the Astros are going to probably support him tomorrow, and the Astros need to keep on doing it, because now they're back to 6 games behind the Rangers, because the Rangers won today, and then we face the Rangers for 4 games coming up. So that'll be interesting Friday through Monday series. It
will be
for 4th of July. So any closing thoughts?
No, just, hey guys, keep hanging with us. Thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. I know it is frustrating, and honestly, I really do hope that we offer you guys a pretty level-headed approach. We both are passionate about this team, and we just like to try to dissect things in an intelligent way. And so we thank y'all for participating, because when y'all participate, if you listen, you got to join us live on YouTube, because you get your thoughts heard, your comments up there. And just know that the Astros play the Cardinals Wednesday night, 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with Sirius XM and the SXM app. Search Astros.
All right, so that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at EricTalkStros. You can find Brett at HDownWheelhouse. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be talking about an Astros victory, because that would be great. Can you make that happen? Thank you. And we will see you tomorrow, and go Stros.
We love you, fam.